No more changing stations, you came to the right place. Turn off your televisions, they'll just get in the way. It's time to get to the point on 107.3. Ike's is on the air with locals only.
And hanging on the studio today with Jon from Blackstone Cherry, fresh off the European tour, man. Tell us a little bit about that. Long time overseas and lots of things going on with the band.
It was incredibly long. It was great, but it was incredibly long. It was 7 weeks, roughly. And we started out in continental Europe doing, France and Austria and Germany and all the countries that don't speak English, typically. And then we wrapped it up the last 2 weeks, and we were in the UK, which was nice. All our girlfriends, fiancés, and all that came over. And it was a packed house. I'll say that. It was definitely a packed house. There was 14 of us plus driver on the bus. It was a lot of fun, though. We got to, show our ladies what, the UK audience is like and show them around the architecture and the culture and everything that's there, because it's definitely like landing on Mars in comparison to, being in South Central Kentucky.
Tell us about maybe your most memorable experience on this part of doing the European tour. And maybe either you get up on stage and there's way more people than you thought there were, or just a really good show, audience reaction with the crowd, or something like that. I'm
gonna talk about Italy real quick, because the UK obviously has been kind of our bread and butter for a while now, but Italy really came to the table this time. We were all very surprised by the response from the audience, and it was really overwhelming. Bologna and Rome are the two really that stand out. The crowds were just, it was packed house, Alter Bridge headlining all the continental dates, because, they've got plenty of success in continental Europe. And, we've got fans in that, section of the world for sure, but not that many and not that hardcore until this tour. And it was like the whole audience knew every song. They sang all the words. They participated in all the the little antics that we do in between songs and things like that. And they were chasing us down during the daytime if they saw one, for example, me and Joe and Brandon took a walk to go find batteries or something for pedals, and I just wanted to get off the bus, and we walked about 3 blocks, maybe a little longer than that, and I hear somebody running behind me. I turn around, and there's this kid that was like 15, 16 years old chasing, because he realized, I guess, that it was me walking by, and it dawned on him after we were already a pretty good ways down. And he come running up, and he was like, "Man, I love your band, love you guys. Like, Chris is an inspiration because he's a singer, guitar player too, and all that." And he was like, "Man, can you sign this for me? Take the CD back, and you guys listen to it." I was like, "Dude, absolutely." But that doesn't really happen in that part, typically. Yeah. But we saw a big increase in things like that. Fans really, going out of their way and really latching on to what we're doing, and we're really grateful for all that. UK, as always, was out of this world, Wembley especially. Last time we played Wembley, the first and only time other than this, we played with Whitesnake and Def Leppard. So coming back in such a big way, because the tour, you can pretty much look at the tour as a co-headline. It was 70% billing, so it's basically that. Knowing that we were a large ticket provider for a show like that, and seeing that many fans, because I believe it was like 8,500, maybe a little larger, maybe 10, not really sure. Ben will probably tell me, after he hears this, it's 11.2, whatever, because his memory is ridiculous. Anyways, to see that many people and to know, a lot of them, half even, were specifically there to see us, because that's pretty much how it was. They, Alter Bridge was doing pretty much the same rooms we do over there. So it was very even billing, and just looking out and seeing all those people and knowing, what we've done so far with this band, with our brothers, and we've been able to do it to where, our crew guys are best buddies of ours. It's very, homegrown, and we love it that way. Just knowing the way it's all happened and seeing, we were at the factory 10 years ago this time, and now here we are playing in front of a sold-out crowd, Wembley Arena in England. It's pretty crazy to think.
Crazy to think. So I let you come in and pick a couple tracks off of your CD. Killing Floor, one of your favorites. Tell me a little bit why that is.
Killing Floor is probably the nastiest, sludgiest, heaviest thing we've ever done. Honestly, it has to be. I mean, I've listened to everything. Obviously, we all wrote the stuff together, and we play it all the time. Killing Floor, I don't know. It's one of those heavy tracks that just really sticks out. When we wrote this song, we wrote it with Bob Marlette, and produced Folklore and Superstition, and John Five. And John Five being known for some of the heaviest, coolest, rock and roll that there is today. We all put our heads together and came up with what I think is one of the most killer rock songs that's come along in a long time.
The guys off the road from Europe, talking a little bit about Italy and UK. Got a big show coming up this week that you want to talk about, happening in Bowling Green.
That's right. We're doing the Jambodians show. We've gone up there quite a few times and done a couple of us here and there, jammed with the Headhunters, whatnot. We've never actually done like a full, Blackstone Cherry show. We always do the Toys for Tot thing in Cave City. But, Tony Lindsay's a great guy. He puts this thing on every year. He's been doing it for quite a while now, and we just didn't have the time to get our own thing together this year. And Tony was like, guys, why don't you come out and really do it this time? And we thought about it, and we were like, yeah, man, it's great. We don't have the opportunity to do our own charity event. So to be a part of his, it's a big honor to be able to be there, and we're just happy we're going to be able to play a full-on live show in Bowling Green again. We haven't done that, and God bless, I think the last time we did that was with Saliva, I think, at Van Meter.
That was a long time ago.
That was a very, very, very long time ago. Before that was not too far before that, we played Capital Arts, I believe, with the Headhunters. So, it's been a long time since we've been in Bowling Green, so it's going to be nice to get back out there and see some of the old friends and fans.
Tell a little bit about, of course, the benefit for that show, because that's a real important thing, helping the kids with music.
Well, actually I woke up today and started getting ready and everything, and Brandon, our front of house guy's my roommate at the house, so I wake up and get all my stuff together and everything and come out to the living room, and there's a pink Stratocaster laying on the couch, and he says, "John, I need you to sign this." And I'm like, seriously, a pink guitar? So we're auctioning that off. So I signed that up and everything. Man, I'm just going to put it to you like this. When I was a kid, the best thing that ever happened to me was I found music. When I was like 6 years old, something like that, my dad found me sitting in the closet with his 53 Jetson Airline in my lap, the wrong way, trying to pluck strings and figure it out, and it's always been a huge part of my life. I can't imagine what or who I would be if I hadn't had that. So, anytime we see something that gives us the possibility to be able to help kids out and provide instruments or knowledge about music or anything like that, we're always gung-ho about it, especially, it being in the Bowling Green area, being, so local and helping give that gift, because there is no greater gift than the gift of music, in my opinion.
Tell us a little bit about Stay. We're gonna down the tempo a little bit here.
All right, yeah, we're gonna go from the heaviest metal song in history to Stay, which is it's a song that means a lot to all of us. It means a lot to me. It's a very emotional song. You have to really pay attention to the lyrics and the twists and turns that it has, and I think everybody out there, especially from a man's aspect, can really appreciate this song and understand what it's meaning and what it's really trying to say.
I'd sell my soul just to see your face, and I'd break my bones just to heal your pain. And in these times I need a saving grace, 'cause time is running out and I'm starting to lose my faith. But if I told you I loved you, would it make you wanna stay? I'm sorry for the way I make you feel day after day. And if I wrote you a love song and sang it to you every day, would it ever be enough to
I'll tell you what, man, we've got a lot of things that you do with this band that probably a lot of people don't know. And there's a lot of, if you look at the artwork, you're involved with that. You also do artwork for a lot of different bands. So let's talk a little bit about that. We've never talked about that before.
I always try to keep my thumb in things. We all do, really. We've over the years, we've all kind of found our niche. You know, like Chris has become the audio guy. You know, when we need to record a demo or whatever, Chris is the guy. You know, when it comes to dealing with social media, networking, and all that stuff, Ben is got his face in Facebook like 24/7. I'd go nuts if I tried to deal with Facebook that much. You know, me, I ended up doing the artistic direction stuff. I did a lot of the direction on the Folklore record, and then ended up being noted for it on this one. Did a lot of the hands-on stuff for this album as well. You know, did the Headhunters' new record, which everybody needs to go out and buy if they haven't already. Just did 449's record, Bowling Green Band. Been talking to John King a lot lately about a record they're talking about doing first part of next year. Been working with that. You know, taking on new clients all the time. Staying very, very busy.
Well, that's good, but that's something you enjoy doing. Now, how did you get started doing that?
Well, long story short, John Fred bought a like prosumer level Canon camera, and he was sleeping a lot at the time because we were in Europe. It was one of the first few tours we did, and my schedule had somehow landed me to where I was waking up early, which never happens. I'm normally the guy that's still in bed at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I was getting up, and he just let me borrow his camera, so I'd run around, take pictures and stuff, and I really developed a love for that. And then as time wore on, I started, you know, like, okay, I have this great picture. Now I need to put it in the computer and treat it like everybody else says that what they do, you know? So I was like, okay, so Photoshop. So got a version of Photoshop, started messing around with that, and then started, you know, I discovered Adobe Illustrator and all these different amazing pieces of software that help you develop your own artwork. So it's not just photography, it's, you know, a truly developed piece of art. It's graphic design. And, you know, from YouTube, the little tutorials on there to asking professionals that we've come in contact with over the years, like especially in the photography realm. There's a guy named Ash Newell that lives in Nashville now. He's one of the best photographers I know. He's Def Leppard's go-to guy. He's the only guy that ever shoots them. He came up and shot the Headhunters for their new record, you know, and I assisted him on that. And, you know, I always just try to ask questions to the right people that are doing it every day, and that's what they do for a living. Because the more I learn about it, the more I can do to help our band. So we're not so indebted to the record label for paying for all this stuff from outside work and all that. I can just do it. So the band doesn't have to pay that. So we've saved some money. I've gotten a little bit more work under my belt so I can show other people that I'm trying to get jobs from, hey, look, I did this. You know, so it kind of all works hand in hand. If it wasn't for the band itself, though, I never would have really found it, I don't think.
But it's something you're totally interested in now, but that basically became out of the band. It's just like, oh, wow, this is cool. I like doing this.
Absolutely. You know, recording was kind of the same thing. Early on, before the band signed the deal and all that, I went to the recording workshop in Chillicothe, Ohio, got my diploma in audio engineering and all that, and just learned so much about that because I wanted to have something that was going to help me, you know, of course, but more importantly, help the band as a whole, so I would have more to bring to the table to help out. You know, and when I came home, I showed Chris a few things, and he just ran with it, took off with it. He's really great at that. But, you know, I still retain quite a bit of that knowledge, and eventually, hopefully, I'm going to open up my own studio in Edmonton, you know, work with some local bands and help them out, and, you know, keep it going.
Keep it going. Jambodian show, of course, Wednesday night, Blackstone Cherry and Bowling Green benefiting Sunray, and In My Blood. We're going to finish off with that. Tell me a little bit about that song.
We wrote that song sitting on, the first verse and the chorus anyways, sitting on the couch at Howard Benson's house in December of last year. So, you know, not too long ago. It was the last song we wrote for the record, and we decided to write that song because Howard looked at us as we were wrapping up our rehearsals before we went to the studio and was like, guys, I need something that is pure you. That there's no walls, no barriers. It's just you pouring your heart and soul out. So we started working on the song. In My Blood was a title that came from Zach Malloy, and we took his title that he sent in to us and scrapped the rest of the song because it was good, but it sounded like somebody writing about somebody else, you know. So we didn't use anything really that he sent. We just thought the title was, you know, really fit. and we just wrote the song talking about the good and bad about being on the road. And we love our family, and we love being with all of our families and being home and all that, but we also love standing on stage and touring and playing music for a living and affecting people's lives and everything that comes with it. It's just a very bittersweet thing, and we wanted to give that song that Howard's looking for. We wanted to give it exactly what he wanted. No walls, no barriers. This is how we feel about ourselves, about life, and what we do. And that's the song that came out of it.